Welcome to another After Effects tutorial. In this one it's going to be a bit longer than previous ones because there's quite a lot to go over. So what we're going to do is we've got two characters dressed as Back to the Future characters here, and we're going to have the Back to the Future car drive through them. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a position here where they're moving and they're turning to time, which is just here. We've dragged our in and our out points, and we're going to drop this onto timeline. As you can see on the timeline, there's already something there, and that is just a solid view of the Aberdeen Football Club entrance with the Deloreon driving past. I'm going to use the mask tool now to draw a mask around this, which is going to make both layers visible. So now you can see the car coming in, and as you can see, it will slowly come towards it and then really awkwardly disappear into them as if it's hitting a blank wall. So we can sort that out a little bit by adding a little bit of feather to the mask. So to add a feather to the mask, you click into the layer, go to mask, open the mask, and you'll see feather in there. So we're just going to add a little bit of feather. Now when the car comes towards, it should be a little bit less like it's hitting a solid object and more like it's disappearing into time and space. So that's the first major part of that. You'll notice that our characters are already turned around, so they can't really turn around till the car has passed them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move the position of the car to make sure that it is past that point and make the movement happen as it should do. I don't think I do it in this tutorial, but what you'll also need to do is speed up the car by around about 300%. This was filmed at roughly about 5 miles per hour, so it doesn't really look that impressive when it drives into them, especially since they could have probably jumped out the way. Next up, we're going to add some special effects, and I got a lot of these from productioncrate.com. It's around about £34 a year. Don't get it if you don't need to, but for me, I kind of need all these assets for the little daily things that I do. You'll find tons of stuff in there, so I'm using a blue portal flash, and this is going to act as a sort of mask to hide the car and its invisible point. So I'm going to lay that over the top of where it needs to happen, and I'll do a little bit of moving around, resizing it. I'm not too worried about aspect ratio because it is a cloud, so it's not really going to look as bad if I squish it or stretch it out as other items would do. As you can see here, I've put some CC toner over there, and I'm going to just change the color of that, so I'm going to try like a blue. Now I'm just timing this to make sure that it happens at the right point. So I've moved it just ever so lot, like having the starting point just a little bit later. I'm going to change the blend mode to add or screen, which should hopefully make it look a little bit more transparent and a little bit more like smoke. Next up, we're bringing in Spiky Flame from Production Crate, and this is going to go in the front of the car. So we're going to add a couple of effects to this: CC toner, warp mesh, and we're going to add glow to this as well. And this is going to go around the front of the car. Now we've done keyframes and similar items in things like camera tracks, removing stuff. This one's going to be really simple because the camera is not actually moving. So the car is traveling in a linear direction, which is going to make this really, really easy to track. So I've got the front of the car sticking out right now, and I'm just going to change the color of this. You'll notice that the flame is sitting just above the car but below the people, and that's really useful because remembering that we've got tons of layers going on here, so the people are going to hide this once the car goes past. So I will animate it past the car, but just to make sure that it's out of view, and that's going to be really crucial when we go into lightning as well. A bit of other things. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the mesh warp, and you'll see here that what I'm doing is I'm just making it curl as if the car is actually hitting it like a flame would if it was traveling. Now I'm going to select the position of this, so I'm going to draw the car back a little bit, and I'm going to make sure that I grab this flame and I'm just going to line it up to the front of the car. And it's as simple as that. So now those two tracking points here will follow the car and it should be in the right position. And it's just a case of doing this a couple more times to make sure that that flame is always at the front of the car. You might have to readjust at different points.